We get our conversation on course on the Edo State Governorship Election 2024, particularly as it relates to the campaign messages coming from the political parties, our expectations, and do the people have the level of political sophistry to be able to dissect those messages and respond appropriately. Let me welcome to the program the President of Network of Civil Society Organization of Nigeria, Edo State. I'd like to thank very especially Comrade Emmanuel Ogbidi. Many thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much, Sonny Duke, and good morning, viewers and listeners at home.
Okay, the build up to the the build up to the Edo State governorship election is about to get into that point where we really begin to hear what the candidates have to offer beyond what we've heard from maybe their party agents or people that are around them. But this time, we want to have a situation wherein we can have the candidate themselves come up stage and speak to Edo people. Let's look at what's your assessment of the campaign so far in terms of from the primaries and now the candidates have emerged, the messaging so far.
Okay, thank you very much. Very quickly, I will not start without extending or commiserating with the ITV family and, of course, the Osayuwa family for the huge loss. And we want to sincerely, express our condolence from the Network of Civil Society. And back to your question, I think those state people are very much anxious, as it were now, to hear from the horse's mouth, from those who are applying or vying for the position of the #1 seat as it concerns governance and politics in those states. On the 24th of April, the INEC, lifts the ban on the campaign. And ordinarily, we have seen some level of activities from the primaries, like what you said. And I would say some political parties have not really impressed those people as it has to do with, internal democratic process in their political party. And one begin to wonder if within their own family, they are having some level of huge rancor. What is the assurance that if we entrust them with Edo State patrimony, we entrust them with the leadership or the responsibility of leadership in Edo State, they will be able to dispense, good governance to the people? It was very worrisome. I think some political parties were very, very, their outing were very abysmal, while some political parties, try to a very large extent to engage the process, even to the extent of involving civil society organizations to observe their process as to come and check if this process is free, fair, and credible. To a large extent, I think while some did very well, some performed very abysmally. Now, the campaign ban has been lifted. We have not really seen engagement from the aspirant, from the candidate, telling the people what they want to do. What I like is that this campaign period or season is not as usual. We are going to be having almost 5 months plus. So it's a huge one. It is not the kind of campaign we used to have where it's 3 months or it's 2 months and you just move around the 18 local government, and if you like, you just climb the stage and make statements, make promises that you will not remember and live there. But now we are having a whooping 5 months where we will have time as Edo people to grill these candidates, where we will have time to engage them, not just them telling us what they want to do at this time. We are going to be asking them, what do you want to do? How do you want to do it? Because that link has been missing. But the civil society engagement at this time is going to be bringing out that link. Don't just tell us you will tie you would tie a coastal road from Lagos to Calabar. You would tell us how, where will the funds come from, and at what point in your administration. So this campaign season is going to be what you would do, how you would do it, and at what time in your administration you would do it. That's a level of engagement we reveal, we expose the capacity of such candidates if they are just giving us rhetorics, if they are just trying to deceive Edo people, or they actually know what they want to do, or if they are actually waiting to grab power just as an avenue to access the treasury of Edo State and our common patrimony. So this build-up of campaign season, we will not entertain the usual kind of campaign. We are going to engage. You are going to tell us what we'll do. Then you will also listen to us. If you go to meet the market women, you will tell them what you will do. You will listen to them, what they also have to tell you, and the questions they will also have to ask you. Then we will know if you have a plan and an agenda already. Because the problem we've had over the years is that persons find themselves into power and then begin to prepare on what to do and how to rule the administration.
While in power.
While in power. They prepare while they are in power. While we have some set of persons who knows what to do even before they start aspiring.
Okay.
And over the years, we have made mistake by giving pass to people who don't know what to do, who get there and start planning what to do. Why those who knows what to do are relegated to the background, either because of the political platform where they are from, or because of who is backing them, or maybe because of their level of financial capacity, because politics and election in this country is money bags. But at this point in time, Edo people will not be making such mistakes. They will be looking critically, taking a microscopic view and analysis into the various candidates to see what they already have, perhaps what they have done before, where they are coming from, what they can do, and how they can do it. Okay. And then our decisions will be taken.
Let's quickly talk about some of the internal wranglings in the political party, from the APC through the PDP to the Labour Party. These are the major political parties. You also have the Zenith Labour Party, you also have the Accord Party, and all other parties. For the three major political parties, you know, there's one internal wranglings or the other. The PDP, for example, the issue of the new PDP and the legacy PDP is still one major issue that is out there, unresolved in a sense. And then for the APC just now, even with the emergence of the candidate, we heard some of the chieftains are having some form of disagreements or the other. On the part of the Labour Party, INEC released the final list of the candidates and the deputies. The preferred deputy was not on that list. How do you think the parties can manage all of these internal wranglings and have the appropriate message to set to Edo people, as it were?
Well, you see, unfortunately, the factors that win election are both internal and external. There are factors that influence or that will influence Edo State election. Take, for example, you are going to have some external factors and you are going to have some internal factors. External factor to the extent that, let's take it one after the other. If you look at the PDP, for example, the PDP did their primaries and they had a candidate emerge. And you have issues around persons who have been aggrieved, who said they have not been allowed to participate or to express or to contribute their quota in the internal decision or in the decisions of the party over the years, and hence now it is time for election. It is time for them to negotiate with their grievances. Basically, that is what you have in the PDP. I don't think there is anyone who had a substantive case pursuing to say this election or the primaries I won, or he's not this person is not qualified or whatsoever. But you have issues that are pending, perhaps from the 2020 elections,
Okay.
perhaps with the sitting governor, not with the candidate that the party is, feeding.
Okay.
If I have engaged the political space very well and I look at their analysis, that is basically what many of them are saying. None of them are saying I have issue with this candidate. But they say I have issue with how this party has been run.
Okay.
Okay? So in that light, you advise them, because we are watching from outside, that they must learn to have their differences internally and resolve as a family.
Okay.
Then we have the APC in Edo State. We had series of activities surrounding their political primaries, where the primaries was done twice. At first, we have a candidate that was announced from Edo South, congratulated by the national chairman, and the delegates announced a different candidate. Then the leader, one of their leaders, met with Mr. President and said, Mr. President said the primary should be rerun. And they did that. And they came out with another candidate entirely. And somehow they were able to harmonize.
Okay.
Having it that the candidate who emerged at the first time became the running mate of the new candidate who emerged in the second election. And I look at all of this scenario and I begin to see the factors of the PD-APC that we saw in the 2023 election playing out in all of these agitations.
Okay.
And it is kind of worrisome to Edo people. And people will begin to ask two questions. One, it was one very political party that was very clear as to where they were going. That in Edo State, we have 3 senatorial districts. In a policy or in the principles of fairness, equity, and justice, that governorship should go to a senatorial district. And it was a popular opinion and a drive towards that direction. When the APC did their primaries and it came out that Edo South got the candidate, there was a feeder or a reaction from the masses, from the people, and they saw that it's not going to be a popular decision, even from the leadership of the Edo South in APC. Backing the Edo Central, they have to make a reverse. That's a wise one on their part, although it was a quick reverse. And they sent that ticket to Edo South. And now you begin to wonder, how are you going to manage a man who actually wanted to be governor? How are you going to manage him and position him as deputy governor for the period of time if Edo people consider them? Because we know the power tussle of governor and deputy governor over the years. So those issues are there. Not also forgetting the issues of how Mr. X was indicted of fraudulent activities and all of that. They have their issues, and they should be able to explain to Edo people in the course of these 5 months. Okay. And then we have the Labour Party. You know, there was something that happened. The national chairman, a day to, or the very day of their primaries, or a day to their primary, was, humiliated and arrested by the, what was it called now? By the Nigeria police force. And that singular engagement, or that singular arrest to the national chairman of the Labour Party was something that revealed a lot of things that was not okay. And we ask a question as Nigerians. If this man was a northerner, for example, like we have the current incumbent national chairman of the APC, have allegations against him, even as we have now, that some quarter refer to him as Gandu Dollar and what have you. Will the Nigeria police force
humiliate him,
clandestinely humiliate him or arrest him, take him out of a state or national assignment like that? That calls to say that there were a lot of political exercise, if you like, political engagement underground that went round. And they came out with their candidates, which is very good. But shortly, we began to hear that the deputy governor's candidate has some lacunas in his documents. And immediately, perhaps that is why we are not seeing a candidate or a deputy governor candidate published by INEC. So that's also a major issue that Edo people will want to begin to wonder as to why are things like this, if this set of persons are actually ready to lead Edo State.
All right, let's take a final shot on right now, as more or less like a response to the agitations for power shift to Edo Central. We have two of the major political parties having their candidates emerge from Edo Central, the APC, and then of course the ruling party, the PDP. And then Labour Party, their candidate is from Edo South. How do you think these positionings from these political parties in terms of the spread of the candidates, two major political parties having two candidates, having their candidates from the same from the same geographical zone or senatorial district, and the other from how do you think it will affect the election?
Well, I think to a very large extent, as someone who is with the people, who is in the street, engaging the masses, we've done some series of research and engagement as to what is the level of acceptance and political ideas of Edo State people, both indigenous and non-indigenous. I will tell you for free that there is a huge sentiment as to where power should be, rotated to in this next dispensation. First of all, I want to laud the courage, the maturity of some Edo South political leaders. It is very rare. I don't think for a very long time we have seen some very big political voices in the Edo South for the very first time saw the need that if we say we are Edo people, that we must be able to rotate power. We must be able to allow every aspect of Edo State to have a bite in power. Because if you ask me, competence and capacity is not a monopoly of any senatorial district.
Absolutely.
The same way we have capacity in the Edo South senatorial district, we have capacity in the Edo North. That is how we have capacity in the Edo Central. So if Edo Central and Edo North have tested power absolutely for a very reasonable time, we also have competence and within the Edo Central who should also, have a test so that they can bring an even development in that region and by extension the entire state. So to your question, it is a unanimous decision by majority of Edo people that power should be shifted to Edo Central Senatorial District. And that was what the PDP did, and the APC saw, and also they have to make a U-turn, which is a good one if you ask me. And they also bring in their candidate from that. So I'm going to tell you for free that anybody or any candidate who is feeding, any political party who is feeding his candidate from Edo South Senatorial District is on its own peril.
Because if you look at the general voice of the people of Edo State, they have agreed, including political leaders and non-political leaders, that on the principle of equity, fairness, and justice, that the Edo Central people should also be allowed to rule the state and also contribute their quota politically. So we are going to have the power tussle between those who have fielded their candidates from the Edo Central Senatorial District. But however, you know, politics is dynamics, and I told you that what decide many a times are both external and internal, including internal political engagement and external political engagement. So you might have a factor of another political party influencing this political party. And I was very surprised recently when I saw that the APC or the sitting governor did a kind of political mathematics when a very known labor youth leader who has some level of acceptance both in his zone and even in the Edo South was, will I say, what they call this in a transfer window in football, had a transfer window from the Labour Party to becoming a deputy governor in the...
So is that a smart move?
So that was a smart political movement to change some very narrative or political calculation within the Edo North and partly even in the Edo South engagement. All
right, thank you very much, Comrade Engineer Emmanuel Ogbidi, the President, Network of Civil Society of Nigeria, sharing his thoughts with us on the forthcoming Edo State governorship election. Thank you very much, Comrade Emma.
Thank you.
Have you here some other time. Always oblige us.